Hey guys, Jason here with a word to the wise. If you haven't heard or seen the Vegas um, alien sighting, where people say they saw something fall out of the sky, which they didn't see fall out of the sky, because falling out of the sky means it hit the ground. They saw something in the sky, a yellow or a green light shoot across the sky and then disappear. People say that they saw aliens in their backyard. The thing looking at the police body cam doesn't really show or say anything to what people are saying. And then the kids, I think that they're probably just in the middle of all this, but saying that they saw 8 to 10 foot tall beings in their backyard. In an age of cell phones, man, it would have been great to see some sort of a footage, but they didn't. And today I heard information on a second report from that same news station talking about how more testimony from these kids. This thing happened like over a month ago. So it's just gaining this ground. There was talks in the first report, I thought, about a black SUV being in the area. Now, if you know anything about the Nevada Lights, and I've heard this report of a guy's diary or a journal where he had all these entries, so somebody was reading the journal, but he saw something about a hologram in this underground bunker, and he went in there and looked, and he could hear it, he could almost sense it, but it was a hologram. But it was a stealth fighter floating in the sky, or in the air, just right above his head. Like he could almost reach out and knock on it, but the guy said, no, it's a hologram. Now, this is just a journal from a journal, this is like a third person perspective. But now, today I heard, these kids said that they were looking at it and it was hard to look at. But when he locked eyes with this being, he was afraid. So there again, you're not taking your cell phone out, while you're being mugged by a robber or a bear's about to charge and eat you. The last thing you want to think is like, oh, let me get this on my cell phone for Instagram or something. No. So I get it. Yeah, you're locked in fear. The last thing you want to do is draw attention that you're taking pictures or evidence to this intelligent being that's watching you or could see you. And then what happens when he gets upset? So all in all, the kid was saying that, well, it was grainy and it was almost like hard to look at. So then it almost hit me. This almost sounds like they were looking at possibly a projection. That's why the black SUV was in the area, because it was running the projector possibly from two different angles. I don't know how those things work or what it takes, but if the Northern Lights possibly was a test and it was just a gigantic mile-sized projection, well, looking at the skies lately, and you got these wildfires happening, and you have constant news, about whistleblowers, it'd be a great way to introduce some sort of an outside threat to make the world come together. Because if you look at Independence Day, the movie, then there was a second one. In the second one, the bad guys are coming back bigger and badder, but there's some sort of a good alien there. And that's what I heard today in a video, might have been from Armor of Truth. He put a little 15-minute alien video together too, probably because of the buzz, but talking about how, one of the people on the video he showed, it was a bunch of news clips and stuff like that, but how the good aliens have always been here. So what are we waiting for? The bad aliens, possibly. So it also makes me think of the battle of that great day in the Sixth Bowl. And who would they be battling against? Some sort of an outside force coming to Earth to cause destruction, as the Bible says. So if you're not with them, you're against, you're with him. And if you're with him, you're not with them. You can't be with both. You can't serve two masters. So wrap that all together into a little, an idea, and it would be very possible, like the second beast, what comes out of the earth, out of another dimension, because that's what they always say. They're not from outer space. They're interdimensional. They've always been here. They didn't like it when we had nuclear problems. They always pop up over nuclear silos and shut them down because they're at peace, or they want to be at peace with us. Yada yada yada. So Just a word to the wise guys, you see aliens, run. You see aliens trying to communicate with you and say to be on their side, just think they could be part of the fallen. That's my only answer I would have to any of that. I used to love ufology and all that jazz, and I've gone back to those same people and I've tried to communicate with them that you have no evidence of anything. You know, this is just some sort of a drone light that's off in the distance and you're calling it a UFO from outer space. Nobody sees a UFO come flying out of the sky, land on the ground, aliens walk out, and they're, talking, communicating, shaking hands, any of that jazz. Ever. Oh, there's a story I saw on the History Channel. Yeah, well, the History Channel. That's part of Disney. So they make up a lot of great stories, don't they? Word to the wise. God bless.